A sound and a day many people across the Midwest will never forget. The August 10th derecho makes number 3 on our top 10 list of events of 2020. A widespread line of destructive winds known as a derecho devastated neighborhoods, tore through crops, and snapped century-old trees in half within seconds.
Trees through their bedrooms, their living rooms, their kitchens. People lost not only their house, but their vehicles. We ended up driving through yards to get out of the neighborhood.
It was a once-in-a-decade event for the region, leaving behind a trail of damage from southeast South Dakota to Ohio. A path spanning 770 miles in 14 hours, producing widespread winds, some greater than 100 miles per hour, and 15 tornadoes. With the Hawkeye State taking the brunt of the substantial damage across numerous communities, including Cedar Rapids.
It was the most terrified I have been in my life. I know that now, although that was not the feeling that I was operating with when I was in the storm.
Millions were left in the dark initially, with hundreds of thousands of power outages across Iowa alone.
We had no power, we had no access to cell service, no access to any way to communicate to other people besides by foot, by bicycle.
Millions of pounds of debris had to be removed, with damage costs exceeding $7.5 billion, making it the most costly event associated with the thunderstorm in recent U.S. history and one of the top $5 billion disasters of 2020. Iowa farmers suffered crippling agricultural impacts as intense winds mowed down 13 million acres of corn and soybeans. More than 100 grain silos were damaged or destroyed, taking away storage for 1.3 million tons of crops.
So we saw losses anywhere from 100% loss to everything in between. Certainly there are some scenarios where it was a real devastating effect when people lost buildings and maybe they didn't have quite enough insurance coverage, etc. That was very difficult on them financially.
But while some still remain displaced and businesses work to rebuild their livelihood, many are thankful that the amount of storm-related deaths and injuries remain low. And with the help of others from around the United States, those impacted will become stronger than ever before.
Even though we were facing a pandemic at the same time, we were able to come together and, one by one, work through some of the hardest hit areas and make some good progress.
Many others across the country were impacted after an unusually high number of derechos this year. To see more about this event or learn about the other half-dozen derechos in 2020, join us at weathernationtv.com. For Weather Nation, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garofalo.